Romance anime. We love it, we need it. And this spring 2026, we're getting over 19 different romance anime coming out. And of those 19, we're getting a few old romance anime back for a new season, like The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten Season 2 and Rent a Girlfriend Season 5. But today I'm not going to be talking about those two. I'm going to be talking about my top 10 new romance anime to watch this spring 2026. And before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications, because if you like romance anime, I'm always recommending them. And with that said, let's get into it. The Klutzy class monitor and the girl with a short skirt. It follows a boy who let's call Buzzkill, and that's because he's part of the student council. And like most people in student council, he takes his job way too seriously, almost like he's using his power to make him feel better about himself, maybe to hide something, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, every day Buzzkill makes sure that every student is following the school's dress code, and if they aren't, bro writes them up and literally gives them lectures. Now Pom Kohinata is a girl who is very familiar with said lectures, as basically every day Buzzkill goes after her for wearing a skirt that's a little too short. Yet every time he sees her, he writes her up and yells at her to follow the school's dress code. But when arguing with her one day, he ends up going off the rails and claimed that her wearing a short skirt made her look too sexy and that he could see a little too much. Yeah, because of that, Pom is very frustrated at him and also flustered at the same time. However, things take a turn when Pom finds Buzzkill attending a makeup class with her. It turns out Mr. Perfect Buzzkill isn't so perfect himself, as he is really dumb to the point where he can't even do simple math. So feeling bad for him, she decided to help him out. But in return, she asked that he let her wear whatever she wants. And unsurprisingly, Buzzkill said no. And then again said that wearing short skirts makes her look way too sexy. Simply put, bro doesn't want her to look attractive, as I guess he can't keep his eyes off her. But because she helped him out, he will allow her to wear skirts that are 5 centimeters above the knee. Haibara's Teenage New Game Plus. Written by Kazuki Amamiya, Haibara's Teenage New Game Plus is an anime about restarting your life with all of the knowledge that you've gained over the years. Basically getting a second chance at life with the advantage of already knowing what's gonna happen. So sort of like an isekai where you get sent into a video game that you've already played, except this one isn't based off of a video game, but your actual past life. It follows Natsuki, a super socially anxious boy who didn't really have the best life growing up. He never had any friends, he was overweight, bullied, had no girlfriend, was always alone, and the list just goes on. And since his horrible high school days, he has had the most boring life ever, literally just wasting away, always wishing that things went differently. And one day, he woke up 7 years in the past, a month before everything went downhill. And because of his constant reminders of his horrible past life, Natsuki didn't hesitate to take this chance and redo everything that went wrong. Now in this anime, we are about to witness a boy change his life to reach the top of the school social pyramid, or at least try, because if he doesn't lock in, he's really just about to relive the worst years of his life. And I don't know about you, but I would never want to do that. Mistress Kanan is devilishly easy. Now the anime follows this demon girl who let's call Marika. If you get that reference, y'all need to touch grass. Anyways, she came down to the human world with one objective, and that is to feast on the sweet delicacy of the young human souls. And passing as a high schooler, she claims this boy as her first target. However, right when she was about to feast on him, things take a massive turn, and instead of eating him, she ends up forming a love contract with him. As for years, she's lived without experiencing anything romantic. And not only that, she is terrified of the thought of high school romance, which is crazy because, you know, as a demon, you would think you're not scared of anything. But hey, I guess awkward dates, hand-holding, dealing with feelings, and everything else can be very scary, even to demons. She even gets flustered over the thought of anything I just said. But what's even crazier is that she went from wanting to eat humans to, you know, falling in love with one. And I have to say that is a very wild turn of events. The Ramparts of Ice. Now the anime follows a girl named Koyuki, and she's sort of like the school's loner, but there is a reason for that. You see, she just doesn't know how to interact with people. Like, she is clueless, which causes her to be socially awkward. And sometimes when she doesn't know what to say, she straight up just stares, like into your soul. Nothing creepy about that at all, right? Anyways, because of that, she puts up a wall around herself and spends most of her time in school away from everyone. And why she's a loner and is deemed unapproachable. But one day, her ice wall was broken by a boy named Minato. Now Minato basically called her out for being lonely, and since then, he has slowly just been closing the distance between them. And Koyuki can't seem to understand why he's trying to get closer to her, thus starting the two's interesting, slow developing relationship, and starting Koyuki's journey of like actually talking to people. The warrior princess and the barbaric king. The anime follows a girl named Serafina, and she's the strongest female knight in the West. Now she was sent to defeat the barbaric tribes in the east. But her mission fails horribly and was captured and imprisoned. Hey, at least she's alive. It definitely could have been way worse. However, she thinks otherwise and wishes to be taken out, as she fears what humiliating and horrific torture they will do to her, as she believes that the tribes of the east that captured her is barbaric and savage. However, to her surprise, instead of them humiliating her, their leader asks her to marry him. What a wild turn of events. I mean, Seraphina literally took out so many members of his tribe, and instead of getting revenge, bro proposed to her. And because of this, Seraphina can't help but think that the proposal was just a cover-up for a cruel arranged marriage. But who knows? Maybe his tribe isn't as barbaric as she thought. If you're enjoying the video so far, then please hit that like button and subscribe. And also, if you need some energy, use code Kazada for GAMERSUPPS for 10% off. Marika's love meter Malfunction. The anime follows a boy named Kanata, and he has a massive crush on his childhood friend Marika. There's just one problem. Unlike her, Kanata is very unpopular in school, and because of that, he can't imagine ever confessing his love to her. Not to mention, he also has no idea how Marika actually feels about him, as they've only ever been just friends. And although she is always very nice to him, Kanata doesn't want to risk it, not to mention he has zero confidence. However, all that changes when one night, Kanata made a wish upon a shooting star, and the next day, his wish came true. Just like in a romance simulation game, he could see a love meter next to everyone he looks at. Yeah, bro got the ability to see how much someone truly loves him. He really about to find out who is fake, and after testing to see if it works, he went straight to Marika to see her love meter. But unexpectedly, it was the lowest out of everyone. So low that it actually broke the meter and went below it, which makes Kanata question if Marika actually hated him and was only being nice to him for another reason. Or who knows, maybe the meter is broken. I guess the only way for him to find out is to, you know, actually talk and confess to her. Gals can't be kind to Otaku. The anime follows Takuya. Now, he is a boy who tries to keep his presence at school very limited, as he is a big otaku. And because of this, he tends to get teased on by the popular kids. Now in class, he sits behind two popular girls named Ijichi and Amane. And let's just say they both have that gal persona. And even though Takuya and the girls are completely different, one day, their worlds intertwine when Ijichi borrows Takuya's anime eraser. And when she jokes about it being a random anime character like Pikachu, Takuya couldn't help but to correct her. Because you know, every nerd always has the urge to correct someone. However, when he gets part of the information of the character wrong, Amane very quickly corrects him. However, right after that, she gets embarrassed and claims that she's not a nerd and that her sister just watches the show. But that excuse is not gonna fool Takuya, as he knows a fellow otaku when he sees one, and he believes that Amane is just hiding her true self behind that gal persona. And since the eraser incident, the three unexpectedly spend some more time together. Pardon the intrusion, I'm home. The anime follows office worker Rinko. Now, she is a 24-year-old who is a closeted otaku. Yeah, you would never know that she likes anime and manga until you walk into her apartment. Yeah, it is plastered all over her walls. Anyways, at work, she is always super busy. So when she is finally home, she relaxes by reading her favorite manga and watching some anime. There's just one problem. Every time she watches anime, her neighbor on the right side bangs on the wall, yelling to turn it down. Now, Rinko has two mysterious neighbors. The one on the right is the angry one who keeps banging on the wall, and the one on the left is Satsuki, a kind gentleman who secretly has a little crush on her. One day, Rinko asks Satsuki to help with the whole banging on the wall situation. However, when Satsuki confronted the banging on the wall, the neighbor on the right ended up breaking through the wall, making a big hole. It turns out the one banging on the wall the whole time was the author of Rinko's favorite manga, Usara. And the reason he was banging on the wall was because she was watching an anime that wasn't his. Bro was mad that she wasn't watching his anime, so he put a hole through her wall. Yikes. And because there was a hole connecting the two apartments, Satsuki offered Rinko to watch anime at his apartment next door. But yeah, Usara heard that too and also ended up breaking the wall, making all three apartments connected. Yeah, they all basically share one big apartment now, as because of the holes, they all now hang out and share meals together. I want to end this love game. The anime follows childhood friends Miku and Yukiya, and when they were younger, they made a game with the sole purpose of embarrassing each other, and they would do that by taking turns saying I love you to each other, whether that be in school during class or just randomly in public. Because I guess saying I love you to someone is embarrassing. I mean, when they started the game, they were in 6th grade, so I kind of understand how it is embarrassing. And now, years later, the two are starting high school and are still trying to one-up each other, as neither of them claimed victory yet. However, now that they're older, the phrase "I love you" has taken a whole new meaning in the game, as both Miku and Yukiya have gained some feelings towards each other. And as each day passes, those feelings only grow, as both want to become more than just childhood friends. However, neither of them want to make the first move, as they are both scared of what would happen once the game ends. I became friends with the second cutest girl in the class. The anime follows a boy named Maki, and he's a boy who's always alone at school. Bro has no friends and shares zero hobbies with anyone, making it hard for him to make friends or straight up just talk to anyone. And really shares no hobbies with anyone? How is that even possible? Surely you can have something in common with someone. Anyways, because of this, he doesn't expect anything to change for this upcoming school year, even though he's going to be surrounded by people that he's never met before. And it looks like his prediction was going to be correct, until one day he ran into his popular classmate Asanagi at the video store. Now she is basically the center of attention at her school and is known for being the second cutest girl in class by all the boys. And even though the two's worlds couldn't be more different, it turns out that they both actually have more in common than he thinks, like how they share the love for B-grade movies, games, manga, and surprisingly a lot more. And to Maki's surprise, she wants to be his friend. Yeah, bro's first ever friend is one of the most popular girls in school. I'd say that's a W. And there you go, that is my top 10 romance anime to watch this spring 2026. Now if you don't like the ones on this list, there are other romance anime airing this spring that I did not mention. So if you want the full list of every romance anime coming out, you can watch this short right here, or go to my comments, I'll put the whole list there. Anyways, let me know in the comments which ones you're excited for, because yeah, I am definitely watching all of them, along with the other ones that I didn't mention. But yeah, make sure you subscribe for more anime, and yeah, that's all I gotta say. Peace.